Our top stories tonight: Clemson DEI cuts, a historic change in European government, and a long-awaited campus project finally complete. News nationally to locally, this is Clemson News Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Withers.
And I'm Mallory Sickles. Our first story tonight comes from right here on campus. With the rise of national pushback against diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, Clemson University is one of 45 colleges nationwide to dissolve several identity-based commissions. Changes come from the wake of the Department of Education notice in February, warning universities to dismantle their DEI programs, with failure resulting in the loss of federal funding.
On September 3rd, Clemson announced the disbanding of its diversity-focused commissions, including the Black, Latino, and LGBTQ commissions. On the 8th, the United States Department of Education named Clemson and 44 other schools as under investigation for violating codes of conduct related to, quote, race exclusionary practices. This was a part of a wider effort to eliminate all DEI programs.
Students on campus have been speaking out with different clubs both in support and in opposition of the university's decision, with the future of these clubs unknown.
Just as Clemson's decision reflects the pressures faced, late-night TV is also facing its own pressures. Late-night television and host comedian Jimmy Kimmel was recently pulled from the American Broadcasting Channel for 5 days due to comments criticizing the Make America Great Again movement and the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The comments immediately received public backlash as well as media backlash, with some defending him in the name of free speech and some condemning him in the name of insensitive remarks.
Kimmel's show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, has been on air since 2003, with 23 seasons of comedy, celebrity guests, and general discussion. The show returned to air on Tuesday, September 23rd, opening with a tearful monologue from Kimmel. The issue of free speech is at the heart of this discussion, with other talk show hosts Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert commenting on their fellow host's return to the air.
Turning our eyes from the TV, the Tigers are always in action on the field. Jordan has all you need to know in Clemson athletics. Jordan, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Ann. The Clemson football team fell short in its battle against Syracuse last Saturday afternoon in Death Valley, losing 34-21. There may have been some lows during the game, quite a few, but there were also some highs. Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik had his best game of the season, completing 62% of his passes, throwing for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. While the Tigers' record sits at 1-3, the worst for the Tigers in 21 years, head coach Dabo Swinney still remained optimistic when talking to the media, admitting the chance of winning the national championship is out of reach. But Swinney believes the Clemson Tigers can still finish strong and, quote, enjoy the journey for the rest of the season. The Tigers hope to turn their season around after the bye like they did a couple years ago, which led to a statement win against Notre Dame and a perfect finish to the season. The Tigers' remaining schedule doesn't give them many favors, with SMU, Florida State, and Louisville on the schedule in the coming weeks. After the bye, the Tigers head up to Chapel Hill for a dream coaching matchup with Dabo and Bill Belichick on opposing sidelines next Saturday at noon. In other Clemson sports news, after their win against the Charleston Southern Buccaneers on September 19th, the Clemson volleyball team remains undefeated at a perfect 12-0 and secured a perfect non-conference record. Junior Kennedy Wagner led the takedown against the Buccaneers with 14 kills and 15 points. The Tigers are now set to begin conference play tomorrow for an orange out at home against Florida State, and then a battle with the Miami Hurricanes on Sunday, wrapping up a homestand at Jervey Gym. Clemson United has shaken off a bit of a slump at historic Riggs Field as the men's soccer team beat the Cal Golden Bears 3-1 at home Friday evening, advancing to a record of 4-3-2. They are set to travel to Winston-Salem to battle against number 13 in the country, ACC rival Wake Forest. Kickoff with the Demon Deacons is set for tomorrow at 6. The women's soccer team fell short in a battle with the Louisville Cardinals 1-0 last Friday night in their first road contest in conference play. The Tigers have returned home back to historic Riggs, where they are currently playing the Virginia Cavaliers, number 1 in the nation. After that, they get number 2 in the nation, Notre Dame, on Sunday, once again at historic Riggs Field. Coming into tonight, the Tigers are 0-1-2 in conference play, but either win this weekend against one of the best teams in the nation would be huge. And Tigers get fired up as softball has their first exhibition game of the season tomorrow at 6 at home against Pfeiffer, and the Clemson lacrosse team has their first fall scrimmage against Davidson College on Saturday. It's a big-time week with a lot of high-stakes matchups for Clemson sports, so make your way over to Riggs or Jervey to catch the action. Back to you, Mallory.
Thanks, Jordan. The San Francisco community was abruptly woken up early Monday morning as a 4.3 magnitude earthquake struck the area. The earthquake took place at approximately 3 in the morning, sending shockwaves as far as Santa Rosa and Salinas. The earthquake originated near the Hayward Fault, a major and highly active fault line in the Bay Area, notorious for its history of seismic activity. Several aftershocks followed, including reaching 3.0 on Monday evening. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and life is back to normal in the Bay Area.
Turning internationally, 2 countries in Europe have seen major unrest recently. Throughout the month, England and France have both engaged in large-scale marches and protests throughout both countries. The march in England occurred on September 13th in central London and had more than 100,000 people attending. Known as the Unite the Kingdom rally, this march was an anti-immigrant march that resulted in the injuries of 26 officers and many more protesters. More recently, on September 18th, France held a nationwide strike to oppose the new Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu.
Hundreds of thousands of protesters were unhappy with Lecornu's response in regards to the budget, claiming he, quote, did not provide any clear answers to the workers' demands. Lecornu has been the 5th prime minister in the last 2 years, and with just over 2 weeks under his belt, the pressure to fix France's finances is rising. For now, France's financial future is uncertain, and Lecornu's time in the leadership position is just as unknown.
In more European news, the Parliament of Albania is merging technology and government as they made the decision on the 12th to institute an artificial intelligence program as the Prime Minister of the State for Artificial Intelligence.
Nicknamed Diella, the program is the first official use of AI in a position such as this. With support from the current Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, the decision was voted on and passed, with 82 out of 140 Parliament votes passing the mandate. In an address to the Parliament, Rama explained that this decision allows for swiftness and transparency in regards to the decision-making within Parliament.
This decision does not come without opposition, as many lawmakers and critics are calling the move unconstitutional, accusing the government of political theater and obscuring corruption. In a response, Diella addressed these criticisms, saying, quote, I am not here to replace people, but to help them. As Albania moves forward with this unprecedented experiment, the world will be watching to see how the role of AI can change the government.
We now turn to the weather, where Jackson has the forecast for this week in Clemson.
Well, Mallory, this weekend won't be perfect for outdoor activities with a possible thunderstorm on Saturday. However, you can still take advantage of the nice temperatures as it ranges from the mid-60s to the high 70s. Sunday will offer the best chance to go outside with little clouds and a temperature reaching as high as 79 degrees. Moving into next week, the skies won't look much different as every day will be partly cloudy. The temperature will stay pretty consistent as well, ranging from the low 60s to the high 70s. So Tigers, grab some time outdoors when you can. This strength of steady, mild weather is too good to waste. Back to you, Mallory.
Thank you, Jackson. Our final story tonight is one that many students have been waiting for, 9 months to be exact. After 9 long months of construction, the iconic Clemson Reflection Pond is back to being full of water and life. The renovation project began to try and add new paths, lights, and wheelchair accessibility to the surrounding area.
Having started in January, the renovation is just now completed, and you can see a clear difference in the Clemson culture as the pond was being filled. Students have been enjoying the pond with new additions to seating and viewing areas, and with fall weather incoming, students are bound to spend more time outdoors and around the good old reflection pond.
That's all for this week, Tigers. Stay tuned next week for all the latest news updates. I'm Mallory Sickles.
And I'm Ann Withers. Clemson News Now.